The Clippers said they're going to take the regular season serious this year, and I definitely think, of course, that's the right thing to do. You've heard me say it in multiple videos. If you haven't, you can go back and check those videos out. But if the Clippers are going to do that, then my thing is the Clippers need to start fast. And to start fast, you got to start with the right aggression. You have to start with the right mentality, and you have to go out there and just blast off, basically. Take the top off, take the top off the situation and let it loose. You know what I'm saying? Unleash, because you got the first game on Wednesday against the Trailblazers, which honestly, that should be a win for the Clippers. Of course, you don't want to pencil anything in. Of course, nothing's no guarantee. But at the same time, that really should be a win for the Clippers. They should go out there, and I'm expecting them to go out there and win by 15, 20 points. And because, my thing is, even though that's the Blazers, they got some good up and coming talent. They got, Shaedon Sharpe. I think that dude is like really a up and coming talent, in this league. Anthony Simons. They got some good pieces, you know what I'm saying? And we got Robert Williams III, a couple guys, they got some good pieces there. And they got some pieces that, can, shake things up a little bit, for a team like the Clippers in regards to their size and their athleticism. But, the Clippers got size and athleticism too. And the Clippers got two of the better players on the floor in Kawhi and PG, and that should make all the world difference right there within the game. So, if you ask me, if I had to give a score, I would say the Clippers, 110 to 95. That'd be a score that I would think that the Clippers, that's my prediction in regards to the Clippers, going against the Blazers. And if I make another video, you'll hear me say the same thing. And not less, I think the Clippers are going to score more, but that's pretty much where I am right now with it. But the Clippers need to come out and win that by 10, 15 points, at going away with it, to me, because you got to come out and send a message to the league. And I know the Blazers are not that great of a team going into this season, of course, not having Damian Lillard, but the fact that they want to take the regular season serious, that means you take every opponent serious. And that's how the Clippers have to approach it. And if you approach it that way, and if you can stay healthy, then that's going to better your chances within the season tournament when that happens for them, and when it comes time for the playoffs, or those times when they really need to step up and be the team they need to be. Because the Clippers really, what I think they need to focus on is having the best seed they can. If they can get the number one seed, then you take it. Not go into the season thinking, yeah, well, we're a good team, we can flip a switch on and off, because obviously teams that try to flip switches on and off get surprised all the time, and they usually get surprised by getting an L. And an L means you're going home. It doesn't mean you're continuing on in the playoffs when every other team is. So the mindset has to be go in there and dominate, and that's the only way I think the Clippers are really going to get the just out of this season, and get the just out of, everything that they've tried to, accomplish up to this point and where they're trying to get to. And, I expect 25 plus points apiece, or 20 plus points apiece from Kawhi and PG, of course. But if they can get more of a balanced attack, I think that would make them a lot more formidable as well, because, when you play with more balance and things like that, that's why I think that really, makes your offense a little bit less predictable. And, for the last few years, their offense has been mainly really predictable in regards to when Kawhi and PG were on the floor, even though I know that hasn't been much. But when they're on the floor, their offense shrinks to me. It doesn't really, prosper. It doesn't really go up. It stays stagnant to go down. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really go anywhere higher. And that's the problem with the Clippers. You got to find a way to push your offense to another level. And now, you're adding certain pieces in there, in your offense, and you're trying to implement, Russ long-term and things like that. And then Bones Highland and Terrence Mann, all that stuff, your offense got to pick up a little bit more, and it can't really just be a lot of isolation basketball all the time. A lot of times last year, years before that, you would see more isolation plays with Kawhi and PG. And really, that's not going to be the way they're going to win a championship. They're going to have to win a championship with a little bit more ball movement and a little bit more ball security. So, with those two things in mind, Russ is going to have to play a lot better in regards to keeping the ball sacred and not give it away to the other team, even if that involves him not scoring as much or getting as much assists or getting some of his stats. It doesn't matter. It's about winning now. And if it's about winning, damn your stats. It's about finding a way to make the next man better if you're the point guard they believe in. And that's what Russ is going to have to do. And if he has to do that, then he has to do it at a high level. And so will Bones Highland and Terrence Mann, who they're going to put at the point guard position at some point, in these games. And like I said, this game specifically, you can pretty much kind of figure your way and kind of figure out what works good, and you utilize that and move forward with it and build on it as the season goes on. Ty Lue is going to have to unleash some of his stubbornness and have to let this team, see what he really has, see who's really going to put forth the effort in regards to giving out what he needs, and he's going to have to really put everybody in place to be the best player they can be, even if that means sitting Marcus Morris until you find a way to trade him and put Robert Covington in there, because I keep telling you guys, Robert Covington in that starting lineup, and or even if he runs with the second unit consistently, he is going to give them a different dynamic, because like I said, he can guard position 1 through 5. He can knock down a three at a 38 to 40 point to a 37 to 38, percentage clip. And on top of that, like I said, he's a really good on-ball defender to the degree where he might be one of the best on-ball defenders on the team when you think about his versatility and what he does. And when he's running with Norman Powell, if he could run with him on the second unit, that's going to make the Clippers so much more deadly, because like I said, you got a guy who can knock down a three, give you at least 2 out of 5 probably. If he took 5 threes, he can give you 2 out of 5. I think Robert Covington can do that from the 3-point line. Then you got a guy like Norman Powell, who's just a walking bucket anyway. And you add some of the other pieces they got coming off the bench, whether it might be Nicholas Batum or somebody like that, which, you'd be good to give him a little bit of rest now since he's on his last legs or getting ready to leave the organization and leave the association, the NBA. You want to keep him as fresh as possible, because he's also a guy who can guard multiple positions and knock down a lot of big shots for you. And like I said, you got 2 good, decent big men who can give you, differences. One can push the ball a little bit more, and Mason Plumlee, get you more offensive rebounds. The other one is a little bit more feathery touch around the rim, good hands around the rim, and his crafty way he can finish around the rim in Zubac. And then he has monster games at times. So, the balance that the Clippers have is good. They just have to make sure the offense is just as balanced. And that's something that Ty Lue has to do. And that's something Ty Lue's going to have to figure out how to get out of all these players that he has at his disposal. And I think, this could be a big season for them if they play with more balance. There should be games where we look at the Clippers and see Kawhi and PG have 22, 23 points, 24 points. They ain't got to have 30 points apiece. They shouldn't have to do that all the time. There should be games where they have 22, 23, and they still win by 8 or 10 points. That's how balanced the offense should be. If you got all this depth, then we need to see you put it into action, Ty Lue, to where you're making it a lot easier on your star players so they can have more rest, their knees can have more rest, and less injuries can come. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments, and we'll talk about it.